Hi, hello, my name is Inba. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk about resources and what that means and how important it is to actually establish them, and a few tips on what can be used as a resource when you're looking to start this embodiment practice, or when you're just looking for regulation of your nervous system. So I'll start at the beginning, where you find yourself wanting to start a new practice, maybe meditation. You try to do yoga, or you find yourself in an experience where everybody else seems to know what they're doing, and you're there really battling with something in your mind, maybe your body. You feel uncomfortable, you find yourself moving, or like there's a train of thought that kind of interferes, and all this stuff that kind of overwhelms your emotional state of being when you're trying to actually find stillness and when you want to kind of meditate and find calm. So firstly is to know that is absolutely normal, and it's a really normal reaction to a certain experience, an unfamiliar experience for one, and it's a reaction to a feeling of unsafety. And I want to just clarify, not feeling safe is an experience that we kind of all have to a certain degree. I'm not talking about environmental safety. I'm really talking more about safety in my body, feeling safe to be present with what is currently happening and I'm sensing. So for many of us, including myself, starting to meditate or starting to experience more a felt sense of the body and going into the body is a real kind of alert. There's an alert around that. It doesn't feel completely right or safe. So first thing is just to normalize this. And the second thing is to begin such a practice. You really want to establish your resources. And it's a sort of something that I've started to incorporate, and this is actually how I started to begin meditating, and what it is that I want to kind of offer to you guys here that are watching and are engaging with any of my content, or even content, someone else's content, is first establish your connection with yourself and your resources, and a sense of security and safety in your environment. So the invitation is really to feel, to connect with who you are at this moment in time. Tools to do that is very simple: feet on the ground. And then feeling the feet on the ground, feeling the weight of the pelvis on the structure, and even feeling like how I am supported by the structure I'm leaning to. So how this sofa back meets my back. I might even want to kind of relax my head. So all of that is creating this weight, but this weight is being supported by the structure. Sometimes I use the floor, so your whole self is supported. Sometimes I use a sofa or a chair, feeling the feet on the ground, really kind of rooting them, but letting them become heavy onto the ground, really connecting the sofa, bringing awareness to the sofa, the chair, the ground, as part of this safety resource. So as part of it, and where you direct your mind is not into this kind of void, infinity ocean of nothingness. It's actually into where you feel your contact. So you direct your mind into the contact with the floor, feet touching the floor, hips resting on the sofa or the chair, pelvis, how it's making contact with the floor. How am I making contact with my shoulders? How my head is being either supported or resting, depending. And then by bringing an awareness to those points of contact, really feeling the holding, then the rest of you can start relax, because for most of us, often we hold ourselves in a position, in a rigid in a rigid position. So shoulders tight, maybe even clenching our feet, clenching our jaws, holding the belly tight, holding in the pelvis, in the hips, holding our feet small, many ways. And then to even just begin to relax those is first establish your contact, establish your safety, establish the resource, connect with resource. It's super important. It's the only way, at least for me, for my own personal experience, and what informs my practice is this. Firstly, check in, and I check in with these points of contact, and that actually starts to become the practice that I engage in. This in other videos, but this, another way of checking in would be, who am I right now? What am I feeling? My name, Inba, my age, where I live, who do I know, who's around. Just these like little moments of kind of reality check. Those are really, really useful resources. Another is touch. So for example, I love having cushion. I can always kind of connect with touch. So it's just bringing awareness to this present moment and time, and the contact that I'm making with it. Then what happens is that all these like thoughts, all that noise, all that like projection forward just starts to dissolve and quiet down. Places in our body starts to melt and relax into the experience, and are able to sit still. There's kind of 3 stages, I feel, for kind of an embodied awareness practice. One of them is the resources, safety. Second is expression, and I'll talk about it in another video. And the third is stillness. So only by establishing those kind of steps, firstly the safety, the resources, and then expression, because then there will be expression, especially if you've never really tapped into yourself in this way. Then comes stillness, and in stillness there's a lot of joy. And then that is a cycle, it keeps repeating itself. Sometimes you're more towards the resources, sometimes you're more in the expression, sometimes you're more in the stillness. So it's just movement, it's life. It constantly changes, and it takes different forms. So this is what I have for you today, just a little bit about resourcing, just a little bit about safety, just a little bit about expression and stillness that could come. I hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comments if you have any specific questions, if there's something that you want me to elaborate on, or if you simply want to make connection with me. There's links in my in the banner above. I'm on Facebook, I'm also on Instagram. There's my website where you can get in touch directly with me. I'd love to hear from you. I look forward to seeing you again, and in the next video. Take care. Thanks.